well. We got a few people in too on YouTube. Got a few people. All right, there we go. Hey, you guys, what is going on? I pray that you guys can hear us very well. I see you guys are coming in on the live chat on YouTube, and then prayerfully we'll have people also joining us here on TradingView as well. Now, I know the audio could sometimes be behind, so if you guys can hear us really good on YouTube land and even on TradingView land, just give us a thumbs up if you can, so we can go ahead and get started. And Cindy, I know you can't see this on your end if you're not on YouTube, but an ad plays before they get on here. And so it may take a while for them to get in, okay? But that is okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the session. So you guys, this is Sydney's and I first session together, and y'all are going to start seeing us a lot more as you guys tune in. We're trying to do this every single Thursday where we come on and we talk about a different topic. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce what it is that we're working on. We're working on a podcast in a community called Forex Moms. Now, what this means is that we are the Forex moms, okay? Sydney is a full-time mom, and we'll talk about her transition. I am also a full-time mom, and we'll talk about my transition that I made years ago, right? But our purpose here is to inspire mom and dads, or people, even if you're single or in relationships. We're just here to inspire you guys to become better traders. And we're here to just talk about some of our behind the scenes in life and how it affects us as Forex traders. Y'all, we have personal lives out here, from countless podcasts that Sydney and I have looked at, and from even the things that we've looked at on our own as far as psychology and mindset goes, because we are both heavy in psychology game. We have found that people don't really talk about their personal lives and how it affects their trading, or how trading even affects their personal lives. And so we thought, wouldn't it be cool to share our experiences as parents, as wives, as women who are trying to figure it out, and even sometimes bring on men who are trying to figure this thing out as well? Wouldn't it be good to get a behind the scenes of that and the evolutions and the successes that we are having in our trading career, because we both have great trading success at young ages. And so that is what we are here for. Okay. And so we're getting some good turnouts here on YouTube. Those numbers are increasing, Sydney. So that's a really good thing. So what I want to do is introduce myself, and then we're going to go right into the topic with Sydney. So I'm Shaquan, for you guys who don't know, or if you are new to me, and I am a Forex coach. My brand is called SLFX Trading, and that the SL just stands for my name, basically. I started coaching around 4 years ago. I started trading around 6 years ago. And my job as a Forex coach is really to simplify people's trading journey. I'm not here to ever make trading complex. I'm here to help you connect to the market as quick as possible, so you can take trades as quick as possible and you can make money as quick as possible. It's not always that easy, but that's the goal. Okay. So what I want to do is go ahead and introduce Sydney. So Sydney has been learning under me for a little under a year, right? Over a year. Over a year, a little over a year now. And she came to me. She wanted my help. She told me her goals, and I made it my job to help her. We started off with 6 weeks or 6 hours in one-on-one coaching sessions, and she came to the community and she just knocked it out of the park. So we're going to talk about her journey and her success when it's come to her passing her $100,000 FTMO account. But for right now, Sydney, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Sydney Preston. Like Shaquan said, I am a mom, I am a wife, I am a trader, and I've been trading for just about 4 years now, and it's been honestly the best thing that ever has happened to me. I've learned a lot more about myself than I ever have before, so I'm just excited to continue to go.
Okay, so tell the people, how long have you been trading for, and what were your expectations when you first started to trade?
So I want to say, so I got introduced to even the idea of Forex 4 years ago, but I want to say I've been trading, maybe like three and a half, because, so here's the thing. When I was introduced to a network marketing company, and the pitch was kind of like, like earn while you learn. So I'm like, oh, okay, I've always been like an amazing student. So I actually asked the girl who I was signing up under, like, if I make money today, like, can I withdraw it today? Like that was, that was my mindset. So yeah, I wasn't, profitable in the beginning, but I was just always really dedicated to learning and perfecting the craft.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Okay, so your MLM, when you first came in, someone told you, "Hey, you can get in here, you can make money," and you saw that it wasn't that easy. But what were the difficulties that you experienced on your learning journey?
First of all, just even learning what the heck we were all talking about, like what
Mm-hmm.
these candlesticks meant. Also understanding that it's more of a psychological game than anything,
Mm-hmm.
and that is way bigger than it was kind of advertised, because you have to understand, like, banks are trading what we're trading as retail traders. Like, this is
Mm-hmm.
a whole industry, like a whole business, as opposed to just um, people do this for a hobby. Like, no, this is a legit thing. So just learning, like, the ins and outs and the ups and the downs that comes with it was definitely the hardest thing, on top of learning about myself.
So, while you were in your learning stage, um, and just to let everyone know, you're married. So you've been married for a few years. So how long have you been married for?
It'll be 1 year this year, but I've been
Mm-hmm.
with my husband for 9 years this year.
Girl, okay. So you've been with him for quite some time. That's through high school and now, to your adolescence, right? So when he first realized that you wanted to start trading, was he supportive of your decision?
Yeah, so my husband's name is Elijah. Elijah was, when I came to him and told him, like, babe, I found out about this and this is something I want to do. Anytime I come to him like that, he's always like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
There's never like, well, what if this or what if that? It's, if he sees like I'm enthusiastic about something and I'm going at it for the right
Yeah.
reasons, he's always supportive.
And that's good. I know when I first started trading, my husband said, "Yo, go for it." Like there was no bars hell or anything because I was already working in the bank. We had a friend who was already doing it. He saw what the potential was and he was like, "Yo, I'm not going to do it. So you go do it." And I was like, "Shoot, you ain't said nothing but a word." Okay, cool. And so I know
Yeah.
I went for it. And so I think it's really important that when you're married to have a supportive spouse. You need a cheerleader behind you. Because even going back to the difficulties when you were learning, when you were in your difficult season, what was the response from your husband?
So he would always ask, because I would come to him like, oh, hey, I just lost a trade. He'd always ask me why.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm.
hated that, because like the ego in me was like, oh, well, you're questioning me. But
Mm-hmm.
it was also like, I didn't have an answer. I didn't know why.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I didn't know I was getting in. So of course I'm not going to know, why I'm losing.
Mm.
And so I strove to be able to answer his questions, like, oh, well, now I can tell him, like, the only reason I lose a trade is because the trend changes.
Yes.
Like, I'm able to tell him that, as opposed to, it's like, well, I don't even know. I have no idea. And that was kind of like, embarrassing. And it did
Mm-hmm.
humble me, like, okay, well, I really need to take a step back and understand what it is I'm doing, so that I can come to him and let him know. Because,
Mm-hmm.
I had no problem sharing with him my wins and my losses.
Mm-hmm. You know what's so crazy with what you just said? So a lot of people when they get into trading and other people know that they trade, and I'm pretty sure you can relate to this. People are always asking, "Well, are you profitable? Have you made money yet?" And if you haven't made it yet, and I think a lot of people have went through this, they can't even tell the people why they're not profitable yet or why they've lost a trade. And so you went through that transition. And then what I just heard you say was, now I'm able to say, well, if price reverses on me, this is why I lost money, right? So you've been able to identify why a loss occurs, which now I'm sure you can also identify why your winners occur too, right? So let's talk about that because that's a positive turn within your trading career. So talk to us about how did you go from having all of these difficulties to the positive change in your turning career that got you to where you are now?
So, to back up just a little bit, I started
Mm-hmm.
trading while I was going to school and working. So trading was, I was kind of like considering a hobby, but
Mm-hmm.
there was desire there. So I gave it my all, right? And I was working at a bank,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just a bank. If y'all don't know, it can be a really stressful environment, especially towards the beginning of the end of the month. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
can be really stressful, and you have to understand, like, you're responsible for like all the money that you're handling, right? So things were going on at work that were just like it was stressing me out. Like I was coming home crying, like I didn't want to even go to work. Like it was just a lot.
Yeah.
And long story short, I had just decided this is not worth it. Like I'm gonna put my 2 weeks in. Like there was no hesitation. I put my 2 weeks in. I said, thank you for the opportunity, but I got to go. Like,
Yeah.
and I knew in the back of my mind, I had trading. Like I never felt like there's no other answer for me. Like I had been trading for 3 years at that point. So I'm like, okay, I kind of understand what's going on, but if I'm not at work, I'm just going to put all my effort towards trading. I put in my 2 weeks. A week later, I found out I was pregnant, and that changed the game. If I always tell people, like, I feel like if I would have found out I was pregnant before I put in my 2 weeks, I probably wouldn't have done it. But it was the best thing that literally ever happened to me. During my pregnancy, I took a step back from everything. I didn't trade, but I visualized what a successful, trader myself would look like during my whole pregnancy because I didn't want to stress myself out. It was really important to me to really just stay in tap with myself as well as like my son was growing inside of me, so and to get on board with my husband and make sure we're on the same page before our son gets here. So but like I said, during that whole time I was visualizing what I was going to do as soon as to provide for him because I knew this is what I wanted to do. So my son was born, and 2 weeks after that, I booked a call with you, and I was like, it's go time. This is what I've been waiting for. Me and my husband, we saved up the money. I got on my one-on-one call with you. I looked at him and I said, this is it.
Yeah.
We're making it to the big league. So that was the changing point for me in terms of mindset, but in terms of profitability, that didn't happen until honestly after we finished our one-on-ones. They're very straightforward. I was able to learn. I was able to pick it all up and execute.
Yeah. So let's talk about that time frame. Okay, so you're working in a bank. A week later, you find out that you're pregnant. You have your son, and he is so beautiful. He's so handsome. You get on a one-on-one call with me literally a couple weeks after you have your son, and then me and you work together for 6 weeks, which is basically it equates to 6 hours, right? So we're working together for these 6 hours, and then after you're in the community, and I mean, watching your journey, you came out the gate just on it. You're involved, you're asking questions, you're engaged, right? And then you decide to trade through FTMO. Okay. So I want to ask you this. What made you decide to go through trading a prop firm versus trading your own money? What was that decision like?
Um, so I just remember that there was talk of prop firms in the group already. And at the time, we weren't even talking about FTMO. We were talking about a different platform.
Yep.
That's actually not even around anymore.
No.
So we were that company name was being thrown around. People were saying, "Oh, we're trying out for this prop firm," and I'm like, "Well, they can do it. I'm sure about to do it. Like I can try."
Yep.
And sheesh, I was not successful, but I'm grateful because that gave me the exposure, right? Like, mind you, you have to pass the challenge. So I'm looking at, I'm in profit, $6,000. Like that's wild to me, and I wouldn't have had, just $100,000 like laying around to be able to put in an account.
Yeah.
So it just made sense to be able to put my money somewhere that my money can grow, as opposed to like slowly compounding what I had.
So let's talk about that because we were talking about different prop firms within the community, and y'all know how I am. Like, if y'all don't know, when we see something new, like the prop firm, I literally read through everything with them. Like, we'll get on a session, we'll get on a call, and we'll read everything line per line because I believe before you invest or put your money somewhere, you need to know the risk and you need to know what you're going to get out of it. And she's right. Like the prop firm that we were looking at, I had traded through them before, but there were a lot of problems. And we were thinking about going back with them, but then they closed down. And so I think that was just God when that happened. Like, I was so shocked when that happened, right? And then one of the prop firms that I really wanted to work with was FTMO. But at the time when I wanted to do it, they didn't have swing accounts. And when I found out that they had swing accounts, which allowed us to swing trade, I'm like, listen, we're going to go for this because this is what I've been waiting on. I know that they're a legit company. They've been around. They have great testimonials. Let's go for it. And I'll be honest, you guys, I didn't pass my first few challenges with the other prop firms. But I know when I got with FTMO, I passed my first challenge. And I have to say this, when it comes to funding accounts, funding prop firms, you really have to know what you're getting yourself into. You have to know what type of person you are. Are you the scalper in the swing or the day trader? You need those accounts. Are you the swing trader? For me, being a swing trader, I look at it as we kind of can't have the same rules as day traders because day traders tend to want to profit every single day. As a swing trader, we may not make profits until 2 or 3 days later, maybe a week later. And so there was some hiccups along the way. And I don't want to say what mine was just yet because I kind of want to get into yours. But what did you think your biggest challenges were when you were going through your first evaluation, the first 30 days? What challenges did you face?
Mindset.
Let's get into it.
It wasn't about the strategy because I know the strategy like the back of my hand. I
Mm-hmm.
don't question the strategy. I don't make irrational decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Mindset. It was like, am I good enough? Can I really do this? What does it mean if I don't pass? What does it mean if I do pass? Like
Mm-hmm.
all of those things are swirling through your head all the time.
Yes.
While time is it's moving even slower because we're swing traders, right?
Yeah.
And we only have 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of time, but not for swing traders. Like that's
No.
not a lot of time. And to understand that you're not in control of anything that goes on in this market,
Mm-hmm.
it's really nerve wracking. So just I had to after my first couple of challenges understand that this is not life or death. You know, it's gonna happen for me because I want it,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't rush the process. You got to trust the process.
Yes, I'm gonna agree. For me, the biggest pressure was time. It was a mindset. It really was time for myself. I'm not used to trading on someone else's time. I'm used to when I put the trade in, I'm patient enough to wait until the trade takes profit. And so when you put that barrier on as far as you have to make 5% in 30 days, well, what happens with the conditions, right? Like if we're not trading in the right conditions, that 30 days could easily turn into 45 days or 60. You know what I mean? Like if consolidation hits and things that are out of our control, such as fundamentals, if the fundamentals don't line up with our technicals, we could be sitting in trades for more than 30 days. And now our equity is affected, right? And so I think for me, that was one of the things that took me by surprise when it came to a prop firm. When I got with FTMO, my first challenge, I literally passed around day 28. That's when I passed the first challenge. Then here comes the second evaluation, and I was able to pass that in a week. And so it's crazy because the first challenge took a lot longer than the second challenge. And I think I said it backwards. The first, I think also the pressure of time in the first challenge is you have to make 10% of the trading capital and then 5% in the next 60 days. So it's kind of like they do things backwards. You would think in the first 30 days, you need to make 5%, and then in the next 60 days, you can make 10%, but they mix it up, right? Um, and so I think that's the most mind boggling part about the prop firm. But I mean, that's a part of it, right? They want to know that you can be consistent. And I think I want to talk about the word profitable really quick. What do you think the word profitable means? Because we hear that word being thrown around all the time. We want to be profitable, but then we hear the first word is consistent. We want to be consistently profitable. So, to you, what does a consistent profitable trader look like?
So I hear a lot people say profitable means you win more than you lose.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say that that's like I disagree with that or that's wrong. But for me, it's that you win big and that you lose small.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it means to me.
Okay. I want to add, to me, I want to break the words down first. Consistent means you keep going with the same thing. Consistent means repeat. I think you become consistent by what you trade. If you could continue to trade the same technique and the variables do not change, as a matter of fact, they rarely change. If you can show up consistently doing the same thing over and over and over again, performing the same rules over and over and over again, you're first a consistent trader, right? Then when you bring profitable in, and now I want to talk about the prop firm mindset. They're saying, hey, if you made 10% this month and then 5% the next month, in our mind, you are profitable. Because what if you could have withdrawn that 10%? What if you could have withdrawn that 5%? Now they're hoping you keep performing that same way month after month, which is why they only give you 2 challenges. In my mind, is how I see consistently profitable. Okay.
Because I want to add, when
Mm-hmm.
you pass your challenge, I actually have this printed out. You can print out like a certificate, right? That
Mm-hmm.
says, because it's a big deal to be a funded trader, right?
Yeah.
So it says the trader passed a full FTMO evaluation course
Mm-hmm.
consisting of the FTMO. Wait, no, that's a challenge. The trader passed the first stage of the FTMO evaluation course and proved a rigid discipline. By completing the FTMO challenge, the trader has very clearly demonstrated perfect money management, quality of risk management, and
Mm-hmm.
advanced trading skills. During the FTMO challenge, the effectiveness of the strategy has been established by achieving profit target in the FTMO challenge.
Yeah. Now, isn't that the goal, to keep going? Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. So let's talk about what happened once you passed your challenge. Once you passed the first challenge, and then once you passed the second challenge. And I remember this conversation, but how did you feel? Like what were your feelings?
So I was really happy, but you have to understand too that during this whole time, especially my last challenge, like
Yeah.
my mindset was different. So
Mm-hmm.
during the whole thing, I was already telling myself it's already done for me. Like I was already feeling the feelings I would feel
Yeah.
once I got news I had passed, and then what it would feel like to have $100,000 account. So I remember our conversation. I took a screenshot that I passed
Mm-hmm.
and I sent it to you. You asked me, how do you feel? And I said, I feel at peace.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of this was now all of my feelings are aligned. I manifested this and I was visualizing the whole entire time what this would feel like.
Yeah, yeah. Sydney was very patient. And what we do, you guys, is every week we share our charts together in our community. And she would share every trade she was in through her personal account, and then she would say, hey, I'm mimicking this same trade through my FTMO. So she kept us all up to date and in line with everything she was doing. And she was so positive, and she just kept saying, Shaquan, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this. And I really let people talk bad about their trading, because our job is to figure it out, right? And she just kept at it. And I love when you sent that screenshot. I actually showed it to my husband too the moment you sent it. I'm like, oh, look, I was so excited for you. And I'm glad you just talked about the mindset change too, because your mind was literally transitioning the whole entire time. And your energy has always been so upbeat. And so I'm glad you're talking about the mindset change. But one thing you keep saying, and I don't know if you're hearing it, but you're talking about how in your mind you treated the money the same way as you treated your process. If you're hearing it, like, I got the process, this is the money that I can acquire, and I'm going to get it. So it's like you're if you ever seen how, like, if there was a pie chart, and you could see like how the movements were going, yours are kind of going sideways a little bit, because you're not allowing your emotions to get the best of you. I don't know if you're hearing how
Yeah.
you're saying it.
No, I was very disciplined in that. Like I made
Yeah.
sure during my challenge I stayed on my routine. I made
Mm-hmm.
sure I worked out. Like it was a mind game, but I made
Yeah.
sure I was on top.
Yeah. And so let's talk about what happened after the challenge. So after the challenge, you get funded and you start trading once again off the bat. And I want you guys to remember, like, once you get your account, and I know for us, we're not immediately always looking to place a trade just because we can. We are very strategic with what we do. But through you being strategic, you were able to get your first payout. You had your first profit split. Let's talk about that. How did you feel after your first profit split?
Man, nobody could tell me anything. Like I really did this. Like it was like all everything had paid off and led to this moment. And
Yes,
I made like half of what I would have made at my job, like in a month,
in a month. In a month.
in a year,
Yeah.
like my paychecks from a year. So I was, I was on top of the world. We went to uh, I just remember when I passed the second challenge, we went to the safari park that we have
Mm-hmm.
in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh yeah, can't nobody tell me nothing. Like I was just, ready to live life and say this
Mm-hmm.
is my life. Because I
Yes.
think people don't understand is like it becomes very like monotone and very
Mm-hmm.
robotic when you're doing the same thing over and over again.
Yes.
And if you just let the charts and the computer get the best of you. But my favorite part about what I do is being able to close my computer and let my charts do what they do and go be with my
Yes.
son and my husband.
Yes. So let's talk about that. I'm glad you involved them again. Let's talk about how your story is now summarized into three phases, right? So you went from being a full time banker, which, if y'all don't know, I was a banker as well. And me and Sydney can share stories on our different banking journeys. But I will say, I do think for us working in banks, it did teach us to be very strategic and follow procedures. I can say that certain 9 to 5s actually help gear you up to be a trader. So I don't want any of us, any of you, because me and Sydney didn't take for granted where we came from. We actually used that to help us. And so never think your 9 to 5 is below you, because I think having a 9 to 5 while trading is important. I'll be the first to tell you guys that. Some of y'all need to stay at your jobs. Not that you won't be profitable, but they're really teaching you a good management skill that you need in trading, especially before you go full time. So take advantage of that, okay? So you went from being a full time broker, then you became a full time mother, and now you're a full time trader. You're no longer a full time mom, you are a working mother. That's a transition. So, hearing that and now living that, what are your thoughts? What's the mindset now?
Um, it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but every day is so worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it that I'm able to be with my son and my husband,
Mm-hmm.
every day. Like I've never missed anything that my son has done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that we're able to, be around family. I think that's
Yeah.
really important because I know if I was still working, I wouldn't be able to see my son for like
Mm-hmm.
a majority of the day. And I know that would have it would have crushed me, but I'm just grateful that I was allowed to be in this position to be with him and see him grow.
Yes. So you're setting your own schedule. You're able to profit. You're able to walk through this journey on your own now. Um, and I think that's the most important thing. You went from MLM to being a client and being coached to now you're making your own way through this life. Do you think in the future you'll teach your son and your future children the same way? Do you think you'll teach them how to trade?
Of course. I
Yeah.
think I tell people like one of my biggest flex is that my son will never have to work for anyone if he doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be his choice. Like for a lot of, I know
Yes.
even for me, I didn't really have that choice. Nothing was, in terms of work, was like passed down to me. I had
Mm-hmm.
to, get it on my own. So he's definitely gonna learn how to trade. Whether he decides to like pursue it or not, that's
Mm-hmm.
totally up to him. But I want him to at least have that in his back pocket if he, ever needs to use it.
Yeah. So, what positive words do you think now, like for moms and dads who are on the same journey as you, or any trader who is on the same journey as you, who haven't crossed over to being full time yet, and they're working towards it? What positive, encouraging words can you give to them?
You deserve it.
Yes.
If you want it, you can have it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give up. Just because times get hard, don't
Mm-hmm.
give up. It's just gonna make you a stronger person. Things aren't happening to you, they're happening for you.
Mm-hmm.
So just, and something that I could tell myself going back, I would have started doing affirmations a long time ago.
Yeah.
They really changed the game for me. And even just getting tuned with who it is that I am, like really talking to myself, like and understanding like what it is that I want and why do I want it.
Yeah.
Because that's what kept me going through my whole journey when times got tough, when I was in drawdown, whatever the case. Like my why, my husband and my son and our family. If I would have gave up on myself, I would have been giving up on them too.
Oh, you just said if I would have given up on myself, I would have given up on them too. Now that's a powerful word right there. That's your why.
Yeah,
It's your baby. It's your husband because you're doing something to help set a better path for them as well, to make life easier for them too. I think when we talk about opportunities, a lot of times we talk about opportunities for ourselves, but what about the ways and the path that we're playing, the role we're playing for our spouse? Wouldn't life be easier too if we could contribute to our household as well? You know, wouldn't life be easier if our children could come to both the parents and say, Mom and Dad, I need, I want. And now it's not just relying on just one parent to struggle for it or to work hard for it. We can both do it. Right.
yeah,
And I know on the woman's side, when for us, and I'm going to speak primarily to the women here, and even in our situations when we were full-time moms, sometimes in life when you're a full-time mom, you may feel like besides your children you don't contribute to your household. Besides watching your children, you're not contributing, especially the financial part. And a lot of women sometimes like to be financially stable as well, because if anything were to ever happen, how would we go about supporting ourselves? A lot of women don't want to go back to working traditional 9 to 5s that they would hate. And I honestly love teaching this skill to a lot of women for that fact. Sydney, when I lived in Germany, there were a lot of women who were married to military men with high ranks. But these women were only housewives and moms. And I would ask some of them, what happens if you and your husband don't make it? I'm not saying that y'all won't. Now I'm in my early 20s asking these women these questions because I wanted to know. I was in school at this time. I was studying to be a financial analyst at this time. I really wanted to do something in that field. And they said, well, we're never going to split. I said, well, are you going to go to school? Why? My husband makes the money. And I just felt bad because honestly, some of the relationships didn't work, Sydney. And overseas, the husband could just ship those women off home. They had the power to do so. So now these women are having to start over. That's motivated me to not be in that position. I would not want to have to start over without a skill or without some type of degree under my belt. And I have a daughter. I would never want to teach my daughter to only depend on her husband. No, baby. First, take care of you, right? Learn how to do that first so you can be an addition to your relationship, right? And I think that part is important. I'm glad that we have this skill. And I'm honored that you even chose me to help teach you this skill because watching you motivated me. And I knew once you became profitable and I saw the way you speak, I'm like, yo, I got to get her under me. I got to snatch this girl up because she's going to be amazing. And you are amazing. And I really want to tell you that I'm so proud of you. I'm very proud of you, sweetheart.
thank you,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you.
So tell us now, what are your future plans with your trading career and your prop firm account?
So I definitely want to start teaching. I
Yes.
want to, reach out to people who are just like me. Um, period.
Yeah.
And with my prop firm, I'm gonna, say something pretty big. But by next year, my goal is to have a $500,000 in trading
Hmm.
capital. So yeah, those are my goals
You're
as of
going to do
now.
it too. I'm going to make sure you do it. You're going to do it. You're going to get there.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to get there. So, what are
Yeah.
2 to 3 takeaways that you love everyone to walk away with today?
Um, so I actually have a tip for people who are doing a challenge with a prop firm account, specifically FTMO, right? FTMO, if you have, because you need 10 trading days.
Yes.
If you have the 10 trading days, but you're not at your target by the 30 days, they will give you an extension.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not have the 10 trading days and nor the profit, target, they will not.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you open and close a trade, because that's what I did. I had the target, but I opened and closed a trade like a day
Mm-hmm.
to make it 10 trading days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I'm
Yeah.
not going to tell you that anymore.
Yeah. Once you hit that target, you're so right. Once y'all hit that target, stop trading your full lot size or your full risk percentage. Just go in at point zero 0.01 lot size and open and close it if you don't have the full trading days. She's so right. The one thing you don't want to do is reach your target goal and keep trading like, oh, I can make more, I can make more. Yeah, but you can also lose.
Yeah.
And you don't want to force that, okay? So I love that tip. Thank you for that. I think a takeaway that I would like to share with you guys as well from a coaching perspective um is what's meant for you is going to come with this account. Y'all, please do not do anything more or anything less than what you've been doing when you're entering into these prop firms. Take your time. I know time seems crazy, right? Because you have the 30 days and the 60 days. So it kind of sounds crazy to say take your time, but I really do mean it. Take your time in your mind. Don't rush just to say let me go ahead and get this over with. Kind of enjoy this process. And also, guys, you can't lose if you don't bet on yourself. You have to show up to take the trades, right? But also, too, because I think I talked about yours, Sydney. Didn't see that there. So, y'all don't let pressure get to you,
Yeah.
okay? We talked about how pressure kind of got to us with the time. All right. Y'all don't let the pressure get to you, okay? And y'all, please do not change your trading style or your trading plan in the middle of this challenge because that time will force you to do something you're not supposed to do. All right. Don't change no rules. If you know you've been trading one way, trade that way because you cannot collect data on a new way you're going to trade during your prop firm challenge. That is going to mess you up. All right. And also, too, I think the biggest one I want you guys to walk away with your prop firm challenge is to know the risk before you enter the trade. And I do mean your amounts. So, whatever percentage or whatever amount you're risking, go lower. You gotta know the numbers. And you guys, there are three risks I want you guys to think about. The first risk is what can you lose if you trade this account? The only amount y'all can really lose is what you pay for. So if you decide to go for a $10,000 challenge account, 25,000, 50,000, 100, 200,000, whatever the case may be, you're only losing the buy-in. That's the biggest risk. Okay. The next risk is what you don't know you can lose. So if you come into this prop firm challenge and you don't know how to calculate your lot sizes or how to calculate your risk percentage, you're going to lose more. You could be over leveraging or you could be under leveraging by not knowing that amount. And then the last amount that you could be risking is what you could profit. I tell my people all the time, if you have good setups and you don't enter those setups, you're losing what you could have made. Not what you could have lost, it's what you could have made. And what you could have made could have been 2 to 3 times big and really put you in the better financial situation. So always show up to do your best. Okay. So those are my takeaways there. Now, before we get off of here, because we're going to go into Q&A with the people on here as well, let's talk about our trades for the week. Do you want to share a trade or two here that you were successful at this week, or maybe something you lost, or a lesson learned? What would you like to share?
This week has been so. I've learned that quiet weeks are good.
Yeah.
If I don't have a trade in a week, is okay. Like there's
Yes.
always next week to look forward to. So this week has actually been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
We have one trade running right now.
Mm-hmm.
Last week was a great week.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, it's a good week so far. I can't think off the top of my head what trade it was though.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had a really good week. Okay. USDJPY was my baby this week. Okay.
Man.
Oh God. Okay, so let's
And
talk about it.
you be hating on
I
it.
do be
You
hating
be
on
hating
you,
on
Jay. I don't like you, Jay. but I don't. But I've been trading her religiously more than Pound JPY. Pound JPY is my baby. I have not touched Pound JPY as often as I have UJ this week, right? So I had 3 stacked positions on UJ. I gotta tell y'all though, because if y'all haven't seen the YouTube videos on these positions, y'all should go back to my YouTube and watch these. Okay, they all hit profit. I entered my first trade July, no, June 23rd. Okay. I entered that position. It was a pending order, and that trade ran for 340 pips. As a matter of fact, it just took profit today, Sydney. So that was 3 weeks I'm in its position, right? I'm patient. I'll hold it. But then I entered 2 more trades the first day of July. It was another pending order. I'm really loving pending orders, y'all. I've been teaching them pending orders, and it's been an amazing experience. So I entered July 1st. I had 2 positions running. The first trade was 179 pips. The second trade was 260 pips. Those took profit on the 11th. So those were 10-day holds, right? So I just banked some really good pips on these pairs. That's what, over 700 pips in less than a month on both of those, on just one currency pair. So that was a really good trade. And one thing I can say that it's been teaching me, something that I'm teaching you guys, is to stack the positions when the price is in your favor, when the trend is in your favor. I'm really learning that pending order saves us time, right? The You entered AUD USD to the downside, right?
Of course.
I don't know
Shout
why.
out to
I
Mr.
don't.
Hayden.
Right. I don't
Shout out
even
to
know.
Mr. Hayden.
Yeah, Mr. Hayden had us on that. I don't even know why I asked that question.
Yeah.
Did you set a pending order?
Oh yeah, you know I did.
See, okay, now watch this though. See, you got me excited now. Okay, so it's a pending sale limit, right? And that was such a tight area. I want y'all to know, me and Sydney do not trade the 4 hour time frame. We said that this summer we would not enter trades on the 4 hour because we really wanted to spend time with our family. We wanted to get together and, create something amazing for people, an amazing community for Forex moms, a podcast. We've been behind the scenes doing things. And she's been really helping me change some structures around when it comes to even the trade on purpose community, right? So that can't, we were talking about being business owners before we got on here with you guys. And the one thing about it is our time is limited. You guys, we're still mothers, we're still wives, we're business owners. Like, we're doing a lot behind the scenes. And the one thing we did not want to stress ourselves over was being on the 4 hour time frame. So I'm going to give you guys a big tip here. If you know that when you drop down in time frames and it makes you feel rushed, or it makes you force trades, or you're losing positions, or you're not in the good positions because you can't make it to your chart on those lower time frames, set pending orders. There's no need for us to drop down in time frames when we're going to catch the same trades without being on it. And so we call an AUD USD sale to the downside on our prop firm account that she and I have. And so I love you, girl. You made us money with that pending order. Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, God, I can't say enough about you, Sydney. I really can't. I mean, you have honestly been amazing on this journey. You've been such a motivation. And what I love about you is that you're also willing to help people in the group. They come to you, you back test with them. I don't feel no way about it but thankful. I really feel thankful that you taking such a huge role in stepping up to coach. Thank you.
Of course. Well, thank you even for the opportunity because I'll mention here, we should go and talk a lot. And I
Yeah,
told her, you know, I want to be where you are, but I want to pass you.
I want
And
you
what I
to.
respect you even more about is that she wants me to. There's no
Yes.
like jealousy, there's no envy, there's no competition when it comes to this.
No, you know where I get that from though, because I've been doing this for so long, but I have children. I would not want my children to make the same mistakes that I've made. I want my children to be better than me. I want them to make better decisions, easier decisions. And so if my job is to make it easier for you, that means because it was hard for me. If I dare want anything to be hard for you, I don't want the best for you. You see where I'm
Yeah.
going with that? So of course, I want you to surpass me. You know why? Because that means that you're going to take what I've learned to go do better things. That's
Mm-hmm.
what this is about. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
do better things. Okay. So this is nothing but love. I love it, girl. I love all y'all here. Like everyone I teach, people who I don't teach. I mean, we're a community. There should be no ego. There should be no competition. There should be no pride. We should all be here to help one another. That's what this is for, right? So let's see if there's any questions. Like, does anyone here in the chat, and I know it's kind of buffering, but does anyone here in the chat have questions um for Sydney or for me or anything including prop firms? Now, I am going to tell you guys something. I am looking forward to hosting a masterclass the end of this month. I want to help you guys get paid to trade, right? But in order to do that, y'all gotta know your numbers. And what I have learned, Sydney, over time is that a lot of people don't understand their risk management. A lot of people don't even have risk management strategies. And so if you guys are on here and you don't have a risk management strategy and you're just literally trading in the wind, you're just picking a lot size, or you're just picking a risk percentage because you don't understand how much it is you should start with, you don't understand what prop firm amount you should go with, you have no idea how much to risk per trade, what you're even comfortable with losing. You guys, I have a masterclass that I'm going to be holding July 27th. Okay. Now, there are going to be limited seats because I'm a person who doesn't like to teach a lot of people in one room. I want to make sure that I can get to everybody. I want to make sure that everyone can hear me. I want to make sure that what I teach is going to resonate with you. And so, if this is something that you want, the link should be in the description to the bottom of the YouTube video. So make sure you guys click on that to register. It is $97. Okay. Because when you pay attention, you pay attention. All right. And I want you to pay attention. And you're going to get the replay immediately after or 24 hours after. So you can always go back and listen to the numbers again. I'm going to be showing you guys chart examples of what the risk to reward looks like. I'm going to help you guys learn how to put it into your MetaTraders as well. Understand your lot sizes and the calculators you guys can use so you don't mess up. There have been times when I've lost prop firm challenges because I put in one wrong number. All right. Let's talk about that really quick too. So, if y'all put in the wrong numbers, and the rule with prop firm challenges is you can't lose more than I think 5%, right? Depending on the prop firm, right, Sydney? It's 5%. The other one we're with now is 3%. No, or 6%.
Yeah.
6%, right?
Yeah.
You gotta know how many trades you can lose. You gotta
For
know
sure.
how many you can lose.
You gotta know.
Yeah. If y'all go into these prop firms and you don't know how much you can lose, how many, and that means how many trades you can take to lose, or how many trades it takes for you to win, you'll overtrade. I've seen people overtrade, and I don't want that to happen to you guys. Okay. And so that's why I'm going to take my time out to help you guys with these numbers. Okay. So it's going to be an intimate session, and I look forward to seeing you guys there. So I don't see any questions so far, which probably means as we were talking, we probably answered them. I don't never say that's a bad thing. But Veronica Williams says, I just passed the first challenge of the first phase of my challenge today. I felt so happy. I'm excited. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. It's a big deal.
That is a big deal. Like the first phase.
She's a pro.
Yeah, she a pro. She got it.
She's a pro.
She got it, right? That second phase should be easier though. I think the second phase is always the easiest phase to pass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because you have a little amount of time and half you have to make.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy though? I think the pressure's kind of lifted off because you know you have 60 days versus 30 days, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
And you only have 5%. And let's talk about a little bit of the numbers, right? That means all you need is depending on your percentage side that you're risking, 2 to 3 good trades and you pass that challenge.
Yeah.
Depending, right? And then what the stop loss is too. 2 to 3 good trades. And then if it's lower, you'll probably only need 4 to 5. Shouldn't go over 10. Not for the second challenge. That should be quick. But I mean, we don't account for the losses in that either. But it should be quick. Yeah. Kai says your why is important in this journey. It is. And yeah, Mr. Anthony. Hey, Mr. Anthony. No, Mr. Anthony.
Right.
He says it's different calculating indices. Indices, crypto, and metals were my kryptonite when I was in FTMO. I could not understand the lot sizes. I swear they kept changing. Maybe it was me. I think it was me.
Yeah, I've been trying.
Yeah, I'm gonna just stick to the pairs, the forex pairs now.
Mhm.
I can't. All right, y'all, last call for questions before we go. We had a good turnout. At most, there were 36, 37 people on here at most. And so that's good. And then combined with TradingView, it was 45. So that's pretty good, Sydney. Especially when
Yeah.
it just starting
Shout out
off.
to the family. Shout out to the family that tuned in because I definitely sent out the link.
Hey, family. So thank you, family,
Right.
for coming on. I truly do appreciate it. And we're going to try to do these, you guys, every single Thursday. Okay. And so if y'all ever have questions, try to get your questions out to us. I'm going to try to post something somewhere where you guys can ask questions. We can answer them for you guys as we go along through this podcast. Sooner or later, we'll have a community where y'all can reach us. We'll be in one community together, and then we're just gonna go from there. Okay. People are saying thank y'all. Miss Anthony said beautiful queens. Don't make us blush. Don't make us blush, Mr. Anthony. You can't see it, but we blush. Okay.
Right.
So y'all, we're gonna end it right here. Okay. And Sydney, I'm gonna give you a call immediately after this. But Queen, I'm so proud of you. I'm gonna say that again, and I want you to keep rocking out. Okay.
Thank you. And you know I will.
Yes, ma'am. All right, you guys, y'all be blessed, and we will see y'all in the next podcast. Y'all have a good one.